Hello, beautiful humans. Here is my book of poetry, The Art of Escape, and here I am, and I am doing poetry in my underwear. This book was written in 2015, and 2015 was a very difficult year for me. This book, a lot of poetry was written that year, and this book has been a long time waiting to be born. I was actually hospitalized 5 times that year, and I was separated from my children. And the themes of escape from what's going on in your mind and your spirit became themes in the poem. And as the themes of escape occurred to me, the themes of the escape artist occurred to me. And as I worked with these poems, I began working with this really wonderful illustrator named Tarandina Vadi. And she started working with me on these illustrations of Harry Houdini and other famous escape artists and daredevils doing these death-defying stunts, which are kind of reflected in the way that we defy death every day. And so The Art of Escape deals with how we escape from the prisons and traps in our own minds and spirits. So without further ado, I give you the title poem from The Art of Escape. The Art of Escape. Cages can be very complex or very simple. The trick is not the lock, it is the integrity of the emptiness. A womb can be a cage or a skull. A mansion can be a cage or an ocean. Apprehension, the pressure of a void that is too great, creates a vacuum, swirling whirlwinds where there should be quiet, peace. There is noise, constant noise. A frenetic tiger paces his rounds. He growls. Walls moan and threaten to implode. Thoughts gallop and careen. Gods mutter. Devils argue. Finally, the only sound is one high frequency tolling. The lights brighten until the only color is white. Deaf and blind, a spirit cannot fly. Overwhelmed, locked in, a body is a cage. A mind is a cage. What is the way out? Where is the key to release the energy of deep passions, brave fantasies, and true love? The key that will transform matter into soul. The next poem I'm going to read to you is from a series of 3 flower poems in The Art of Escape. I'll be reading 2 of those to you tonight. And this poem is special to me because the orchid has kind of become my trademark. This is called Midnight Orchid. The sleepy flower feels her dizzy hour begin slipping. The dissolution, soul's malnutrition, from tainted earth and drunk moonbeams that do not let chlorophyll flow. Her violet red gathers and folds. Bloom is beginning. She can't wake up to greet the sun. She'll be a funeral rose, brightening death. The shy harlot of staid gardens, transient, pollen like gold dust on swollen lips, soft to resist insect protuberances that dip into sweet resinous nectar, kept secret from all but one, the shadow sun. He brings a steel gun of ultraviolet to coax her to bloom at night with gamma frequencies beyond man's sight. Blast into fractals, a queen of psychedelia that no one else sees. Her arms multifold, spraying petals through galaxies. Her fragrance freed to the sky, intoxicating midnight bees. The world inverses its photography. She screams her true name in his neon forest dreams, and he keeps it secret. He knows if he takes a flower, it dies. It cannot breathe, so he leaves. The sun opens a wary eye, and the day's disbelief begins. She closes off, draws up, enfolds her spell to sleep through the dangers of light, each day a reckoning before each night. This next poem is about things that can come back to haunt you. It's called Rides. Pain and pleasure are amusement park rides. The larger mysteries concern me. Birth, creation, atrocity. There is some evidence I've already died. In fact, it was you that killed me, and I am a form of ghoul bound to this earth in damnation. The fathoms of promises reached you, my darling. Those rising corpses, flooded, vegetated, half-rotted, illegible tombstones at the bottom of our yesterdays. I know the names that are written in the cemetery where you were supposed to be buried by my side. No one else can tell you the hour of the shade of the fevered infant, the cherished daughter of a father that saw fade in the morning light. Only you. Only I, your undead bride, walking the earth, reeking of fermentation. I will drag you back from that resting place you choose, with fingernails torn and bruised. I will bury you back where you belong, back on the sunny hill of our past, where we were once alive, riding the slides, laughing at the shivers that played up and down our spine as we passed each solemn stone. Yeah, 2015, that was quite a time for me. This next poem's kind of about that. It's called Bad Girlfriend. 2 alarms and a dozen frantic texts ignored, down in the fetal position on the eyelash blue shag carpet. I wish I could interact. I wish I could unfold from these racking sobs and cramps. Look at the strange, almost 40 tattooed brunette in the mirror. She frightens me. She's unpredictable, unfamiliar, and she looks like she can't dance. I don't know what I might do when I'm feeling like this, like a loose stick of dynamite. Best to go back to bed, turn off all sensation, ubiquitous inputs causing interference, static disruption of my inner balance, my core sense. I'll turn off all the lights and crawl back into bed, still wearing the red-hot party dress I was going out in, a streetwise sleeping beauty waiting for her rock star prince. I know I should call him. I know there is love, faith, obligation, but I'm frozen behind a wall of thorns, guarded by a jealous gold dragon. I'm in his castle's tallest keep, asleep under a 1,000-year curse, and I'm sorry for being a bad girlfriend, a bad daughter, a bad employee, a bad mother, a bad friend. Maybe it'll all be different when I wake up again. Even this curse can be broken. My next poem is about the stars. It's called Heavenly Body. Like a pulsar, I live in the velvet depths of space, always cycling between explosion, disintegration, always spinning, sending off erratic signals, flash images of memories, constellations I hook together in menageries of gods, holding at my core the dense dust of the original boom that started this lonesome journey, hoping some creature somewhere will wish upon me as I blink, and that I can deliver that wish. It's simple to be such a thing. It's elegant, but it's messy too, when all the stardust suddenly flies apart, then suddenly it is sucked back into the framework of a being. I'm often confused. Often I don't remember things, but I remember the wishes, every single one. I suck and blow my own essence in and out of existence. I skate along the edges of this trap of light and dark with a will to continue and discontinue, to love and to hate, to matter, to be the brightest and darkest star that ever burned the sky. And continuing with the heavenly theme, I'm going to read a poem called Angel. Here I come in the wild plasmatic afterbirth of Earth's spasms, seeking that sensation I feel at the edge. Icy wind as I'm falling. 9.8 meters per second squared isn't fast enough for me and you at the cliffs. Let's accelerate beyond the bonds of our worldly mothers and fathers, become angels in the star harbors, kiss God's giant feet and carry his messages, cut down evildoers with invisible swords, and bring desperate prisoners rainbows through their bars. We'll shield the innocent and rescue the lost. Then one day we'll rain fire on Mother Earth. You and I will ride each blazing star into her molten heart to embrace and cleanse her of humanity's infestation. You and I will be scarred angels who take frightened children under our black wings and carry them to heaven. And now I'm going to read a poem called Labrea. I am attempting, for the sake of experiment, to draw my gaze away from the yawning darkness. But it's magnetic, fascinating, like a festering wound, endless. I don't even feel the beginning of necrosis that begins to take over my fingers as my eyes become fixed and dilated, as a demon latches to my intestines, mocks my heartbeat. Come back, reminding me, come back and look again. Look at all the aborted, beheaded, twisted, destroyed, raped, holocausted, murdered hands reaching for you. The hacked off limbs of angels who lost the war with Lucifer. The piles of gold teeth and hair pieces left over from the Jews who are now windblown ash. Who prayed to God, but God was too busy that day to save them from the gas. All of it is too sticky like tar, blacker than black. It pulls me back. Once I look and I see that cancer and viruses are a fitting death for an oblivious, selfish species, no more, no less than another weasel-like mammal that followed the dinosaurs, that will come and go like all species do, and so will its art, its technology, its civilization, its God, its poetry, its black hole and graves will gape. This is my attempt at writing myself away from the Labrea pit of bones, to maybe use this pen to enlighten and lift my friends, but it seems that I was not meant for that. It seems I was sent like Odysseus. I went to the underworld and came back. I have seen hell and brought you back a piece of it. You needn't die to see it, to know its awful secret. You need only look, seekers of truth, who dare and debauch yourselves in that pursuit. If you ask yourselves if you will cross any boundary, even if you don't like what you see. Nietzsche said it best, beware that, when fighting monsters, you do not yourself become a monster, for when you gaze long into that abyss, the abyss gazes also into you. Any of y'all get in fights? I never get in fights, not me. This poem is called To a Fighter. Busted lips taste like passion. Busted lips taste like pride. Busted lips taste like red-hot words, too many angles, sibling rivalry. Lick them raw. They flake away in pink translucent pieces. Bleed a little more, the ghost of the giver, the badge of the orgy. By now it doesn't matter who was right, or whether it was lust or hate that delivered the blow. All that matters is that thumping ache, that sweet mix of iron and flesh. You are human, after all. The next poem is called Witch. Sometimes I feel as gentle as a hippie in her thrift store skirt. But sometimes I'm ready to blow up a depot and make the fat men hurt. Sometimes I'll laugh when catcalled and provoked. But sometimes I'll unleash hellhounds on ignorant jerks. Sometimes I'll let a man abuse me, sniff wine, and play the part. Then one day I awake, tase him, and cut off his vital parts. Sometimes I am a sweet, soft, cooing dove. Then others I'm an orange cat who savors feathers and blood. Sometimes I'm a nature child who would harm none. Then other nights I boil Eye of Newt with black swan's blood and paint glyphs on the wall. Sometimes I believe in good, light, truth, and love. Other days I believe in craven desire, the death machine, greed, and disease. I need love betwixt and between. I need love when I am good and when I am evil, just like Satan and God. I don't need Jesus or rehab or jail. I don't need torture, re-education, or burning at the stake. I just need eyes that never look away. I need a friend who believes not in mythology, but in wretched, blessed human beings, and all their glories, all their mistakes. I know I frighten people sometimes. Sometimes I frighten myself. But I know all these sides of me are real. I know that the witch men fear is a woman with the power to manifest reality from her thoughts, words, and dreams. And so it seems I am powerful and must be hemmed in, labeled, counseled, confined, and if necessary, destroyed. I won't let that happen if I see it coming. The spell I'm casting is one to be aware of the danger of being fully realized. I am witch. I have been and will be, with or without the labels of society, with or without safe haven among you. This next poem is the second poem in my flower series in The Art of Escape. And if you would like to read the third poem in the flower series, you're just going to have to buy the book. This one is called Flowers and Butterflies. Around 9 years old, I became aware that I possessed certain attributes: a curve of lips, a brightness of eye, a pert little body that made me a chosen flower, plucked from among countless others, to be set in every exotic bouquet on display. But it's all a lie. I'm still a simple flower, and I don't know why all my love turns to hate, why I cannot bear being stared at, my fragrance inhaled. I just want to be a thorn, or a nettle, or a cactus, or a grand old haunted tree full of raven secrets and long-gone tongues of lightning. It must be I am too full of life to disguise myself. My honey brings bees. My urn of nectar drowns the lesser insects, and a cloud of gold dusts the victorious. Either that, or I am a Venus flytrap, hungry for meat, an illusion, alluring only for deceit. But I worry that no one has seen the real me, and no one ever will, because what matters most is that I'm pretty, not what I ever said or wrote. A butterfly is no better than a moth, but a moth earns no poetry, no delicate tattoos on ladies' ankles, no admiration or envy. This garden is full of fools. I am not pretty. My flower breathes a song to the pool where the butterflies drown. And I'm going to close out tonight with a poem called Universal Laws. I never met a loyal person, but I know if you drop a dime off the Empire State Building, it always falls down. I've watched flesh disintegrate like paper, but I know it's not gone. It's only changed form to smoke in the air, a wave of heat, neurons flip to stick in memory. I've never told the whole truth, but I know if it rains long enough, we all drown. I've tested all kinds of books, stories, religions, and philosophies and what they profess. The laws of science and math are the only things that have turned out to be constant and true. So I trust that time will march on for me and you. One day our species will be extinct. All these words we speak and think will long since will return to the swirling energy pool. Even so, I love you. Thank you for being here with me tonight, Poetry Family. Have a good one.